Look. If you don't want to make that change within yourself, it's not going to get better. This might not apply to everybody. But if you feel like you're rock bottom, okay, and you're hoping for a better day, but you literally are doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. You are provided with a choice every day. You are provided with multiple choices throughout the entire day. Take that choice, make that change. You've identified a problem. You're saying you're rock bottom. Got it. You're there now. There's only one way, and it's up. So change your mindset. Use that choice and go a freaking different direction. Love y'all. Faceman VTT out.
Day 3 of retirement. As an infantryman, I was asked if I could clean the sink. So let's look at this. Definitely some kind of grime on there. And I open up the cabinet. What do I use? Nothing comes to mind. Like my experience is my skill set. Nothing. Wait a minute. Everyone knows this is how you clean everything. Infantry, retired. You can just take it.
Would you like a military discount?
Do you offer one?
Honestly, cap of the day.
Please, thank you.
CC's Pizza is the county fair of restaurants. You go in there, you look around, you feel a little bit better about yourself, then you realize that you're in there too. Tell me I'm wrong. Well, let's be honest. You know, not everybody's made for this life. It's scary. You know, you gotta jump out of a plane while it's moving. That's not natural. It's high, it's fucking wet outside sometimes, it's snowy, it's hot, it's dry, it's shitty. Who the fuck would want to be airborne? Best job I ever had.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, and Buddy. Real warriors making fun of other real warriors. Try to not get triggered.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 131 of the Trash Talk Hour. Special guest today is Zach, the dirt bike guy. And today I'm here with Buddy and Nick. What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday.
It is, and for once, we're not late because of me. We're late because of all you clowns.
Yeah, now we're late because
you're not around mountains today, Nick.
Yeah,
we're not mountains today.
Well, no, I have a mountain right back there. That's why it's mountain time. All right, if you're in the mountains, it's mountain time. It's literally called that.
A different mountain time. The actual mountain time, right?
No, yeah, man, just chilling, man. Fucking great weather, great bourbon.
You got bourbon? Yeah, I'm drinking a Coors Light right now.
Yeah, we already got Monica saying hi, Brian saying hi, Kevin saying hi. All right, we got a lot of people coming up.
Where's Jimmy?
Yeah, where's that?
Jimmy.
Yeah, we need Jimmy out here real quick.
Okay, I gotta have somebody call me a sorry motherfucker today, so I need Jimmy to get on here.
If Jimmy doesn't,
hopefully our friend from last week joins us again. I forgot her name.
Lupita from Japan.
Moana.
From Japan.
Yeah.
She says she's stationed in Japan.
Like
I said, because she must be using like speak to text or whatever, you can't understand what she's writing. So I yelled at her. I felt bad because after I read it for the 400th time and it made sense. I was like, oh, she was being nice. Damn it. So I hope we didn't lose somebody.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, I went down this rabbit hole last night. I don't have too much information on it. I got a little video that we're going to play as well on the conspiracy. And then we can talk about it a little bit. There's tons of information out on the internet. Have you guys heard about all the disappearances that have happened in like national parks across the U.S.? Anybody?
The ones that coincide with tunnels?
Oh, here we go. Buddy's okay. So maybe Buddy's going to give us some special forces insight. Who knows? But so there's an average about
where the giants live. Everybody knows that.
On average, there's about 1,600 people that go missing yearly in these national parks. Okay, and there's this video I'm going to play that shows the map, and we're going to show a map as well. That all these missing areas coincide where there's actual caves and tunnels in these national parks. Now, there are so many cases, like a lot of cases, people are just, they're dumb. They don't know how to hike or whatever, camp, and they end up dying or an animal gets them. But there are other instances where heads are getting chopped off, people are getting burned alive. There's a big case on this guy who's riding his bike through these mountains. I think it might have been Texas or Colorado, and they found arrows in them, and like old, like wooden arrows, like you would use in back in the day or whatever, not like a compact bow, like something awesome like that. So like there's a lot of cases that are going on. So Chris is going to play the video. It's going to go ahead, buddy.
Did you just say a compact bow? Is that like a bow that's smaller than other ones, or did you mean
you don't know what a compact bow is?
You fucking idiot!
Yeah.
Compound
bow.
Not
compact.
Oh.
Compact's like
compound.
Compact.
Who gives a fuck? I speak 3 languages. I
You're not allowed to hunt. You're not allowed to hunt the king's deer in Germany. He doesn't know what that is. Okay, like
I speak 3 languages. I'm sorry, buddy. Thanks for always correcting me, though. I love you too, man.
Like no
compact's
anyway.
Yeah, but anyway,
it's just make it as a compact.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that goes on with that.
Somebody wooden arrows. You use a compact bow.
We're making a shirt. We'll make it a shirt,
and we'll
find you now.
It's a nice little bow that comes in a case.
A compact bow is the bow that little people use when they go
trolls.
hunting.
Yeah, trolls use it. Yeah,
trolls. So then I was right because there's rumors that these guys are like cannibals that are living in these caves. There's rumors of like other dimensions. There's rumors of the government with the sex trafficking and the child trafficking because a lot of these missing people are actually children as well. So there's all kinds of stuff that goes on with this. There's a quick TikTok video that Chris is going to play right now, and then we can discuss it afterward. He's going to put up the map, just a bunch of crazy stuff. So Chris, go ahead and play that video.
U.S. government covering up something sinister in its national parks. Some people think so. People have suggested that missing persons reports from across the country line up strangely well with the cave systems that are found in national parks that are protected by the U.S. government. Now, some people think that these cave systems within the national parks are being protected and preserved by the U.S. government to keep tribes of cannibals separated from the rest of us. Some people think that it might be a civilization of reptilian-type humanoids. Or maybe it's just an advanced group of mole people. We may never know, but it is strange, this correlation that's going on with those underground cave systems and disappearances that have been unsolved, that have happened in those national parks going back over 50 years. Maybe it's because national parks are just inherently dangerous wild places and people are unprepared, they get lost and they disappear, or maybe something else is going on. What do you think?
Buddy, you'll be up in a sec. So, as you can see,
I just have a question.
Go ahead, bud.
I just have a quick question. I just have a real quick question.
You're no fun today, man.
Question is,
he's a lot of fun today.
Is it not funny that the guy said, "Is it like cannibals? Is it this, or is it just advanced mole people?" Like, oh. It's just advanced mole people. My bad.
But that would be my first go-to right away. If he didn't say that,
advanced mole people, everyone calm down.
I got upset because I was going to say that when it was my turn. I'm like, it's obviously advanced mole people, buddy. All right,
yeah.
No, just advanced mole people.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my take, and then you can go, buddy. Thanks you for interrupting all day today.
Don't be all butthurt because you had to rush.
Anyhow, so the top map. So the top map you guys see on here is the missing people, and then the bottom is the cave systems. So I looked into this a little bit, and personally, I'm not a believer. I do think it's a little weird that people are going missing in these caves, but I do not think that there's like some cannibals or like headhunters or like mole people or like reptilian aliens. I think people are just going out hiking.
Just mole people.
Yeah, just mole people. I think people are just going out hiking and then getting lost, and there might be some like savage like wrong turn West Virginia type people running around there using it as their advantage and just like killing people and burning them alive and cutting their heads off. So it is weird with the cave system. I'd have to look into that a little bit further if it's actually accurate. I found this online, so maybe it's not, but that is a little that it coincides with the missing people, but I don't think it's any of the things that were just said on that video, and that's my take. Zach, you're up.
So, one, I've seen this map before. There's two different angles to look at it. I'm not really sure where I lay. First of all
I got about 3 angles I can look at it right now. Go this way.
Well, you're just more flexible than the rest of us, man. I don't know what to tell you.
No, he's not. He's got a battery in his ass. He can't even bend over.
I've been able to touch my toes for years.
So all those cave systems are also in mountain ranges. More people go missing in mountain ranges and national parks than literally anywhere else, simply for the fact that, like we said earlier, they're idiots. And they're the equivalent of a lieutenant who's missing half his brain. He just doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know how to navigate, doesn't take the right stuff with him. But that's not to discount the fact that caves and deep underground military bases are a thing. There's plenty of testimony to indicate that that's true. There's plenty of literal receipts that you can find if you go deep enough into the internet to prove that they've been built. I mean, you want to get really deep, you can go through the idea that FEMA camps and Walmarts are connected by tunnels, and the Walmart logo looks like one of those giant boring machines. So you can go real deep on it.
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
But surface level, it's the most Occam's razor, the most likely explanation is that caves are in mountain ranges. The mountain range map and the disappearance map matches up because more people get lost and die in mountain ranges than in other places. And it just so happens that a lot of mountain ranges in the country are protected areas. But that's all what the government wants you to think. So,
Hey, before you go, buddy, Jeremy Daniels on a chat thread. Are you like screaming this because you're writing in all caps? I don't know what you're saying, but it feels like you're yelling at me, and I don't like it, Jeremy. So stop yelling at us. All right, go ahead, buddy.
And Kevin in the chat, Kevin says you should play the trailer of Missing 411 that I just put up. Kevin, I have seen that. That's what brought me onto this. It's actually a whole documentary, which is kind of crazy, and it talks about that little boy who disappeared and everything. A lot of crazy stuff. Who knows? But buddy, you don't have to raise your hand. Guess what? It's your fucking turn.
So I'm gonna
you got Dave triggered as fuck.
I'm gonna apply something real crazy. We're gonna call it common sense, right? So why do people go to national parks? First of all, people go to national parks. So they don't live there. They go there to visit, i.e., they don't know the area. Then they go hiking, and then all of a sudden, we're mind blown that they become missing. Sounds like a lot of people go to an area that they don't know, and then they start wandering through the forest like Bambi is going to come out and lead them to fucking safety. And turns out that's not the case. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of acres of fucking land that's on the side of mountains and also has caves and tunnels and shit in it. I would say that probably has more to do with why people go missing in national parks than just mole people, probably. But maybe it could just be mole people. And you know what? Mole people got to eat too. So
they do.
Alternately, it could be Van Gogh. We don't know. But
so there's 4,500 caves in U.S. national parks. Look at all the caves. There's approximately 45,000 caves across the U.S.
Yeah, but how big is the population of mole people? You know what I mean? Like, how much do they have to eat to sustain them for a year? That's what we really have to.
Yeah, we got to figure this shit out.
Correlation of, you know what I mean? Also, are they also using like plants? Are they eating plants? Are they like subsidizing their fucking diet? Like, how many people
how
do
tall
they eat?
how tall are they? Yeah, how tall are they, and how much do they need to eat? Because if there's 1,600 people missing a year in these national parks, and then a lot of them, are found again. So, there might, out of those 1,600, it's maybe 200-300 that aren't found. So, does that cover all the mole people for,
Maybe what we could do is we could just take some of the plant-based proteins that we have all over the place and toss them in there, and they'll stop, and people will stop being missing because the mole people will just eat soy burgers.
Yeah, they'll get gluten allergies and can't eat humans anymore.
Yeah. Good idea. Maybe we think about it. Maybe we send it in. Let's send it up.
So definitely, bullshit. So yeah, all of it's bullshit, and I agree with you on that, buddy. But definitely, like some of the murders that have happened, where like people's heads get chopped off, those aren't animals. I think those are some fucking people taking advantage of the situation of other individuals being out. Like,
they made a whole movie about it. It's called Deliverance. People
yeah. Wrong Turn is kind of similar to it, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn is real as fuck though. Like,
not a huge deal if you're
sorry if anybody from West Virginia is watching.
That's where my family line's from. I'm telling you, man. You go out there, it's a different lifestyle out there, man. West Virginia ain't fucking around.
If you live in the middle of the fucking forest and then somebody fucking stumbles in, there's a good chance
you ain't getting out of there.
You're tweaked out of your mind anyway.
So if a mole person eats in the middle of the forest and no one is around to see it, did he still get full or no?
I don't think so.
Brian, one of our great moderators on BT Official said that he lives 40 miles from where Deliverance was filmed, and he's like, if I hear banjos, I'm out of there. Like, I'm running.
Yeah.
If I hear banjos,
Trick question, Zach. If a mole person eats in the middle of the woods, somebody has to be there. That's what they eat, is folks. So yeah, they get full, I guess.
Yeah. Well, look, we just proved it live.
Folks.
We just proved it.
Yeah. Boom. Done.
Yeah. I mean,
everything. It's real, Dave. It's real. Don't go to the national parks.
Yeah. No. Anyway, Nick. What's
all right, so
your wisdom that you're gonna?
This is the one where I would tend to believe is 100% accurate, especially with the mole people, because we do all this. We do all this fake imaging with AI and aliens, and we keep talking about aliens and yada yada yada. Okay, no, like people they disappear. This is real stuff. Like they disappear all the time, and a lot of them are idiots. Okay, like the person who does like this, like Monica said, selfies with the bears. You have to put a sign up that says no bear selfies. Okay, like
we should leave all that shit up to natural selection.
It is. I mean, it was left up to natural selection.
They got kiddie pools in it, like a big sign, no diving.
What does the National Forest symbol look like for no?
Here we go. The Illuminati. So like, is that what we got going on? Because that's what I was going to go to, Zach. So you're pretty spot on with what I'm thinking here. So I'm turning this back to the Illuminati, to the New World Order. All right. Now there is definitely cave complexes that they're running supplies through, doing all this stuff. You need people to work those caves. All right. So it is possible that
and who better than kids
or moles too, right? Like actual moles that we genetically turned into half like human moles, right? And so it's like there is a lot of stuff here that could actually be true, that they're going to actually keep hidden from you. And here's one of the things.
Maybe that's why CRISPR was developed. I mean, they just needed to meld the human and mole DNA to create the perfect worker for their tunnel systems.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. It makes more sense than
what they did to us, the Anunnaki, so we could mine gold for them and build the pyramids. Just saying.
Exactly. So you're
treading real close to aliens, bro.
Yeah. So then
I'm shut up. So you got me.
So then
great job, Nick. I'm convinced now.
So then here you go. All right. Just think outside the box for a little bit. You know that I've talked about this before. Like, you don't just go up into the mountains and think you're gonna fuck around, right? When you go into the Appalachians, and you go to up in them hollers, and you think you're gonna go fuck around, you're gonna find out. Like the federal government tried to go up into those hollers, all right, and they found out. No. So there are people up there. There are things in that land that you can't explain. Like, who goes in there? You don't go in there. You don't go in that cave. Like, you go in that cave, you're gonna die. Like, one, you're either not getting out.
That's one of the big reasons for the conspiracy, is because a lot of these areas, like Buddy mentioned earlier too, like there's no vehicle access. These are like untouched places, and they say that the government specifically close those areas down and keeps them secure. And like the forest rangers, like the rangers are all part of the big conspiracy too, and they all know about it. And like it's. So maybe Nick, maybe it is a government conspiracy.
I think it's a government conspiracy that we have mole people that are doing the work for them.
Just mole people, guys.
Just average. Just mole people. And but again, no
reptilians.
We never hear of stories of people like heroically coming out of the mountains. We just hear stories of dumbasses, and I think that's the media playing the conspiracy. It's where, like, oh no, the people that die, they're just stupid. Like, no, maybe there was just a group of people hiking and they knew what they were doing, and then they ran into the fucking mole people, right? Like, we're supposed to be in here, buddy. Like, wasn't it?
Ryan says biogenetic experiment gone wrong. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, it is the mountains. I mean, I guess it technically could be giants too. You guys remember the giant of Kandahar?
Oh, we talked about him.
We talked
about him. Hey, you're gonna get Buddy in trouble because it was his special forces.
Yeah,
group
Buddy
that
can't
knows
talk about that one.
Yeah,
I'm not allowed.
his special forces group killed the Kandahar giant.
Secrecy.
Yeah, well, no, you didn't kill him. We didn't kill him. You captured him, right?
Buddy called one of his buddies, and they admitted that it was true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He said, "Oh yeah, I heard all about it."
He technically just said, I can't talk about it. Instead of just saying no, that's bullshit. He just said I can't talk about it. So that's kind of like basically saying
that's straight up confirmation right there.
Yeah, he wasn't.
We can talk about it after the show.
He wasn't allowed on Fifth Group's compound for 2 weeks after he brought it up. He was like, "You need to go. You need to go calm down and recenter yourself." So.
Yeah, you think about whose side you're on.
Are you with us or the Giants? What is this, Lord of the Rings?
That story's crazy,
we
man.
We gotta protect these Giants at all costs.
Schwacking soldiers with spears, man.
Dude, he killed like 4 Rangers with one strike.
And like they found giants in Pakistan and Afghanistan. I don't want to get off topic, but they have found like giant skeletons there. I'm not saying the Kandahar giant occurred that situation, but they have found
just like we found full skeletons of dinosaurs.
Yeah, but here's the thing with the Giants.
No, that's all guessed.
Look at all the old buildings.
There's a conspiracy that says dinosaurs aren't real, but it's all bullshit.
There is. They're saying like we've never found a full skeleton.
Yep.
The thing is with Giants, though, it's almost believable. Look at all the old buildings with the giant arch doors with the human door, the man door, like in one of them. That doesn't make any freaking sense. It's not like they're gonna make it for carriages.
Yeah, fucking large steps and shit. All kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
we live in a crazy world.
And Buddy's like.
Meanwhile, Russians are crashing spacecrafts into the moon, and India just landed on the moon. Did you guys see the video footage of that?
Or what? To build a fucking hospital?
Oh,
so what are they doing there?
I don't want to get into the moon landing conspiracy now because we're all over the place. But did you guys just Google the footage that India posted online of their like moon landing that happened yesterday or the day before?
It looks like they did it on an Atari, bro. It's not great.
Ryan says they cloned sheep 30 years ago. You don't think we've done it to humans?
They did.
Did we really clone sheep 30 years ago?
Are we somehow?
I think it was in the 90s, right?
But did we really clone them, or was it just a news story?
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Do you think they used the call center for mission control for that mission, or like?
Yeah, just like Heartbreak Ridge. So everybody knows this.
Actually, have a problem.
Well, we just covered a lot of conspiracies all in one. There we go.
We're all going dark here in a minute. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna come up behind Buddy and put a paper bag over his head.
Bro, my FBI agent is shitting right now.
It makes for some good views, man. Probably the best episode ever.
It is. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Let's see here. Follow the yellow.
It happened. Brian Sell said it happened.
It happened. How do you know it happened, Brian? Are you a coloniologist?
Who's there?
Yeah.
It's a coloniologist.
Yeah.
Are you a colonizationist? That's something else. I don't know what that means.
Cheers.
Are you making up words?
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the time. So.
We do it too.
I mean, we got compact bows. We got colonizationists.
Compact.
I'm
sorry. I know.
Dave,
I know you guys.
Sinise last week. They gave me shit.
Gary Sinise.
Yeah. You guys gave me shit. It's fine though.
Yeah.
I speak 3 languages. No big deal.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, speak one right.
Are you doing an honesty cap?
It doesn't matter if you speak.
Now he's screaming. You can't hear him when he screams. It just.
Fucking hell! I speak 3 languages at a fucking first
buddy, don't
grade
scream
level.
when you do your
Great.
honesty cap now, so we can actually hear you say something because just now we couldn't.
Well, hey, if you can't hear me, just fire your compact bow across the screen, and I'll be.
I mean, you should be able to hit him in this little 3-foot window here. You know, it should be good.
Yeah, it's real tiny. Fucking bing.
Yeah. Oh shit. Well, yeah. Now we get to get the Now we get to go to Buddy's honesty cap. Yeah.
Oh, are we doing honesty cap?
Yeah.
Usually I try to be. I try to have something amusing to say for my honesty cap, but. So last week we had Alan on, who was going to the Last Out play, and then a while ago we had what's this Brian Man?
Scott Man.
Fuck, I left my program in there. Scott Man, who wrote and stars in last out, and so
Shout out
I
to
said
Scott.
something about going last week, and I found out that it was in Franklin, and I was like, you know what, I'll go. You know, not a huge deal. It's right down from where I live, about an hour away. So I drove down, brought my kid, my fiance, and we went to this play. I thought it'd be a classy way to spend a Saturday afternoon. No big deal. Dave, who's a big fat liar face, tried to tell me that it would be a great time to bring.
This explains why he's all over you today.
Some acquaintances, some visitors, like people
Absolutely.
that you
and I
aren't
still
super
stand
close
behind
to.
that.
Let me. Yeah, well, that's not true at all. That is a lie. While this is, it was a really, really good play. And a lot like our conspiracy theories, they did a really good job of touching on Vietnam vets, on GWAT vets, on spouses, kids. Like they run the entire gamut.
Yeah.
Yeah, they run the entire gamut, all while just focusing on one guy's kind of stories. I mean, honestly, I even thought about Cliff during it when they go through the Pentagon getting hit during 9/11. But it's to say that it is a super powerful 2.5, 3 hours of your life is for us, for people that have spent, a while and gone on a bunch of deployments and given up a bunch and trying to see the spouse and the kids' fucking perspective of all of it. It is I would say it's almost a must see. Now,
Find yourself. You can find yourself, especially if you serve. You can find yourself in the play. Like at some point of the play, you're like, yeah, I went through that.
Oh,
Yep.
Multiple. All over the place in the play.
Yep.
Yeah.
What part of it was you're going to stop fighting and go recruit people?
It doesn't really matter what you're doing, or what your job is in the Army. You can find that. You can find yourself in it. Or if you're a spouse or the kid of somebody who's deployed, you can find yourself in it. And like again, honesty cap on, it's a play. Plays are like acting cranked up another couple notches. So, they're definitely the cliche Army phrases and talk and stuff like that. But it's not way overblown. But I would suggest if, look up Last Out at your local theater, because it's going around the country. And definitely don't take just some random person that you're going to try to go out and have a good time later on that night, because that's not going to be a thing. There's going to be a little cloud over after you leave. But definitely if I think later on today, when my son and I are just hanging out at some point, it's going to open up a conversation that's never been opened before. If by chance, you take your spouse that was with you during those deployments, it will definitely open up a conversation that's never really been opened before. It makes you think about not only what you went through, the sacrifices that you made, but also helps you to realize that there were a lot of other people that may not have been getting shot at, but were making sacrifices right alongside you. And then, so not only that, but also, there's an old saying that wars change, but warriors don't. The sacrifices that we made in GWAT are no different than the sacrifices that Vietnam vets made, that Korean vets made, that World War II vets made. We all kind of had a lot of the same experiences, and you're not alone. That's the biggest thing I took from it, is what you might think is your own unique story, which is unique in some ways to you. It's not as unique as you think it is. And you're not by yourself. The feelings that you're not having in a vacuum. Other people are having those feelings. At one point, as the play was ending, we're talking about a play that everybody in there was grown pretty much. A lot of old Marine, Air Force, Vietnam vets, GWAT vets, a lot of folks that don't really show a whole lot of emotion. But there were points of that play where you heard a lot of old people sniffling. And there were points in that play that it was hard to not just break down and, like baby cry.
Did they do the discussion at the end of it, buddy? Where they
did do the discussion at the end, where they all, kind of people come up and talk and ask them questions, and it's a really well done play, and it's so focused on the stories. It's not like, if you're going to see set design, you might as well go somewhere else, because it's bare bones, some boxes, a wall with a bunch of trinkets on it.
Does it have a chandelier drop from the roof?
No.
Oh.
Nope, nothing, none at all.
It's Phantom of the Opera.
But even with none of that, it is like one of the Vietnam vets got up at the end and said, this is probably the most powerful play I've ever seen in my life. And for us, it probably will be one of the most powerful plays you ever see in your life. I've seen some plays and they're entertaining, but this one actually had some meaning. Oh yeah. I've seen the Wizard, well, not the Wizard of Oz.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Wicked, homie. Just watched it in London. Boom. Yeah. Get off my newts.
Wasn't that a video?
No, it was a play. I watched the play. Yeah, no, I'm cultured as shit, dude. Fucking out here being cultured as fuck, homie. But anyway, like I said, if you're listening, and I would suggest that, and then so Gary Sinise, it also talks about the play Tracers that he made way back in the day. I'm personally going to look it up. It's almost the same thing, just a Vietnam veterans account of Vietnam that they did in like 1983. And hopefully there's some YouTube videos or some videos of that, because I would love to watch that just to get my dad's perspective. But it's definitely, honesty cap fully on, well worth it. Well worth the conversations that are gonna have later on, and definitely worth being able to get the perspective of other people, and for them to get your perspective over the whole thing. And if you're having a hard time dealing with the withdrawal from Iraq or Afghanistan, it's definitely worth going to see, because it deals a lot with the emotions of the withdrawal. So anyway, that's my honesty.
Yeah, well, I'll get on that real quick here, but just to turn it back into humor, because that's what the chat thread has allowed us to do. We had somebody giving you a compliment. Bobby says, airborne, agree with you, airborne. And then Jeremy Daniels comes over the top and says air assault. Okay. And so just Jeremy, no.
Hold up. No. Funny story. I was sitting in a pancake place the other day, just off of fucking Fort Campbell, and these two old veterans were sitting there talking. I almost lost my shit, because they were like, "Yeah, they got it where you can wear, I've seen some people wearing their airborne wings over their air assault wings, and blah 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 blah." And I almost, if they weren't super old dudes, like I'm old but not super old yet, if they weren't super old,
no, you're pretty old. You're pretty old.
I'm like, yeah, they're wearing their airborne wings over their air assault wings. Everyone has air assault, dickbag. Everyone. Not everybody jumps out of airplanes. The 82nd jumps out of helicopters. All you gotta do is land and step off. You might as well be in a truck, you nerds.
Remember,
you didn't do anything. Yes, everybody in the 82nd is airborne qualified. You motherfuckers can't climb a rope to get air assault qualified.
Right, exactly.
And exactly. It was in the 101st too. Boom.
Exactly. Like, do you remember like in third grade when you learned how to climb up a rope and slide back down it? Like you literally have the fucking qualifications of a third grader. All right,
I took my like 9-year-old daughter to the aerosol obstacle course,
and she climbed right up the
because my platoon she climbed the rope, and then I let some of the privates I was like, all right, get up there, and they couldn't do it, and I was like, did you see the 9-year-old girl do it?
Yeah.
Did you see it? She did it. She did it.
So yeah,
she's 9 and a girl.
Yeah.
She could be air assault qualified. You need to go away.
Yeah. So just get off that aerosol thing, Jeremy Daniels.
If they were so proud of being air assault, they would change the tab above their dumb little buzzard patch.
Right. Exactly.
And they still call themselves airborne.
All right, we got.
I used to lose my shit.
Hey, we got a YouTube watcher.
Jump boots on and their dumbass cowboy hats.
Hey, we got a YouTube watcher, which is rare because there's now we've found out.
Jimmy.
No, it's not Jimmy. We found out that there was two. We found out there was two, but now we got Major Sunny on. He's I'm laughing at your name because of your comments. Like, are you speaking to us like in Chinese proverbs? Like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying, but appreciate you blowing our YouTube up. Like that's great. Like, I mean,
double today.
Yeah, we just quadrupled our yearly comments.
It's double when it's generally just Jimmy B telling me I'm fucking stupid.
I know. We need Jimmy back on there. Get on there. But no, back to the Odyssey Cap before I get it over to Zach is like I talked about it. I think season 1. Season 1 of the
probably
season 1 of the trash.
Season 2 is only 3 episodes in.
So we don't know what season we're on. We just keep doing this. But
five,
6, 7.
Fucking yellow.
I think we had a show like on Spouse Day, Military Spouse Day, or something like that. And it was again like that conversation that this play can create. Hopefully, it does that for some people. Like I think I was a little bit lucky enough to have some of those open conversations early in my marriage with that in the DoD, where it was like. You don't think about it till your wife tells you. It's like every time the phone rings, she jumps, like every single time, And then it's like when it's combo blackout and you're used to a certain amount of communication on MySpace or whatever, like just some kind of like whatever, maybe an email, and all of a sudden it's been like 2 weeks. They know something bad has happened, right? And when the phone rings, when they know something bad has happened, like. Forget about it, So like, yeah, it's you don't got to be shot at to have done anything for the cause and what our veterans and what ourselves have done. But no, that's a great Odyssey Cap, but a great explanation of the play. I was supposed to go to Phoenix and see it, duty called, so I couldn't. And Cliff's on the chat because we gave a shout out to him. Oh, thank you for gracing us with your present, Cliff. Like it's like
thank you, Cliff.
I watch your show when you're live. I watch it. Okay. Just saying. All right. Dave stopped watching our shows. Dave starts texting me during our live shows now. It's like, Jesus, Dave. Like,
every time, bro. Every time, man. Dave, I'm on a show. Whoops. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But
like clockwork, man.
I don't know if Cliff has seen it either. Oh, P.S. If you're a veteran, the show is free.
Yep.
And if you're not a veteran, it's $25 entire dollars.
Yeah.
Per person. I would suggest that if you are a veteran, donate the $25 to the theater that's allowing them to do it. Because it's $25.
It's veterans, first responders. So it's also first responders and everything. So for those of you that are watching, and you can bring your family though for free too. So, but it's worth just paying it just for the cause. Like they're doing amazing stuff. So
yeah, well, I mean they've got people that travel with them just in case something in the play hits you hard. I mean, these dudes had like a safety brief. They have like people outside that can sit down and talk with you if you're a Vietnam vet, if you're a GWAT vet, whatever, first responder, whatever. They even have, if you're having a medical emergency, they got medics that can come fucking.
Yeah, no, they covered everything.
Right
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It's very well done.
Yeah, and then again, that's what I think we're progressing as a society, taking care of veterans. Where I'm seeing it in the other company that I work for with the suicide intervention, and sharp prevention, is when you put people through real scenarios, like you're going to trigger people. Like, and it's going to be something where you're going to catch people. And so every time I go do my training that I travel for, I go, hey, make sure your prevention team's ready. All right, make sure they're there because there's going to be 2 or 3 people that are going to take that headset off and they're going to walk out. They're not going to say a fucking word, right? And it's like you better go grab them. Like they're a part of something like that. And here's what I'm going to get at. I'm going to get to our guests. Here's what I'm going to get at with what you guys are talking about and that trigger and having the people there. And here's where we're progressing. And we need to get these old gray beards and these soft ass people out of the prevention units that are like, I'm worried about triggering people. No, we should 100% trigger people. Like
that's the only way you're going to have an effect. Yep.
You're going to find out, right? When you put something like that in front of them, you're going to find out who's struggling, right? As opposed to, hey, here's the myths and rumors of sexual assault or suicide. Like, no. Like, here's the rumors of PTSD. No, show it. Fucking show it, right? And you're going to start seeing people that maybe have never sought help, and then you get the help. So, great point, and I hope that we keep progressing. And we know Scott, we know Colonel Mann, he's freaking awesome, and he's going to keep going with it. But Cliff said his car show is fun. I'm trying to wear your shirt, okay? So there that is. So now we got,
Hey, boys, I got to jump off here.
All right, jump off. You're going to like this comment that was just said, too. But, yeah, jump off.
What?
The guy says, let's make it 23 a day. Again, Tyler, thanks. Yeah, I guess everything that we just said was stupid. We don't have any fucking idea what we're talking about. So yeah, Tyler, you might not want to follow this page because we hold veterans accountable. All right, so to include ourselves, you might.
Yeah, because not triggering people and then dealing with what triggered them.
Yes.
Is how it got to 22, genius.
He doesn't get that. He doesn't get that. All right. Open your fucking eyes, Tyler. Okay? All right. So it's like whatever.
Anyway.
Yeah, say goodbye to
later, boys.
Say goodbye to the bro vet. All right.
Bye, buddy. Bye, buddy. Love you.
Later.
Yeah, but so anyways, yeah. Tyler, hey, sorry you feel that way. It's not a mistake. A lot of people feel your way when they're more immature and uneducated. It is what it is. The point is to get triggered. Like I had to have triggering events that made me go seek therapy, and I pray every day that thank you that I was able to go get that therapy, for sure. But you got to trigger people, otherwise you're never gonna know what's bothering them. Okay, let's get on to it. Too bad Buddy had to leave, but we got Zach, who's been patiently waiting. We don't know much about Zach. He sent us a bio. I think each of us read about 3 sentences of it. So we don't really know. But he was in the Navy, I think. Not sure, I didn't think people actually joined the Navy to ride dirt bikes because Tom Cruise rode a crotch rocket. Right? And that's the only reason anybody our age would join the Navy is so we could be Top Gun. So you obviously you failed at that. You weren't a pilot. And you didn't drive a crotch rocket. You decided to go the dirt bike route. But anyways, no, Zach, welcome to the Dumpster Fire. Welcome to the Trash Talk Hour. And you have started an awesome organization, Carolina Dirt Bike Rentals, to help, just again, no matter, it doesn't fit every veteran, okay? But this is just something that might be good for somebody that needs to get out, experience nature, get after it. So, Zach, say hi. What you got going on?
What's up, gentlemen? Hello to your viewers.
Good show, brother.
You all drive fast and take chances, all that good stuff. But before I talk about me at all, I just do want to take a second to recognize today is the 26th of August. It has been 2 years since 13 service members were killed. The event we just had last week, we took these 13 flags and some others as well to the top of a mountain. We read their names. We took a moment to remember them and honor their sacrifice. I'm sure these guys can link the video to that if you're interested in seeing it. But I know this is not why I'm here. I'm here to talk about what we're doing, but I want to talk to Tyler, the guy that just commented to you. Tyler, if you're walking through the woods and you think there's a bear trap in front of you, and you know that bear trap is going to cause you or somebody else serious harm, are you going to walk away without tripping it, or are you going to go find you a rock or a stick and poke that son of a bitch so that it can't hurt anybody? If you're a responsible person, you're going to make sure that thing lights off so you know where it is, how it's going to hurt someone, and you can prevent it from doing any damage. So don't be that guy that looks at the problem and goes, that's for someone else to fucking deal with. Grab yourself by the balls and fucking handle it. And it sucks every time you have that conversation. You need to start asking your buddies when you tell they're down, are you going to kill yourself? Are you thinking about hurting yourself? Are you going to do something you regret? Because I can't even tell you. 2 of the flags that were carried on last Saturday were for personal friends of mine that no one fucking checked in with because no one thought they needed to. Both of them died. One of them made a bullet. One of them jumped overboard in the middle of combat operations.
Yep, that's
Don't let that be your buddies.
No, great point, Zach. That's a great way to put it. Great way to put it. So yeah, again, trip that. Yeah. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna steal that, Zach. I'm gonna steal that.
Oh, you can't steal what's freely given.
Yeah.
Hey, that was good. That was good.
So perfect.
Yeah. So let me like a 30-second background on myself. I grew up in Arizona. Joined the Navy when I was 22. I'm a 3rd-generation sailor, actually 2nd generation on the Nimitz. I was a CTT or an EW for those of you that know or care. My job was super nerdy and not that cool. So we're not going to talk about it literally at all. While I was in the Navy, I started watching videos online about dirt bikes, and I'd never ridden a motorcycle before, but I really wanted to get into it, mostly because I was a broke-ass E4 and didn't have any hobbies and wanted something productive to do. And I was stationed up in the Pacific Northwest, where we have all kinds of awesome single track, and single track being a narrow trail, double track being a wide trail. Most of you will catch on. And so I bought this blown up bike because I've always been a mechanic, and I'm like, you know what? I can't afford a new bike, but I can rebuild this one. So I got the benefits of spending time in my garage. I could think through things, I could work through things. And that's when I realized that, hey, this motorcycle thing, whether it's turning wrenches or twisting throttles, like, this has some benefits. And that was my first experience with it. So I built this bike, taught myself to ride, and I started building a community out there of people that I rode with. And this is 2019. So this is before COVID happened. We're spooling up for deployment. We deployed in 2020 in April. We were gone for 11 months. During that time, they dropped the COVID vaccine mandate. I decided early on that I was not going to take that, and I told them to get fucked, and they said, get out. But they drug their feet so long trying to kick me out because they suck at literally everything they do that my contract just expired. So I didn't actually get – yeah, I didn't actually get –
So you just ETS. Yeah.
Yeah, just ETS. And that there's all kinds of fun stories we can talk about at some point with that. But yeah, so that was my exit from the Navy. It was untimely. I had following orders to Chantilly, Virginia to work for the National Reconnaissance Office, and a civilian job lined up after that, and it was going to be awesome. But I'm the kind of person that will never put a paycheck over principles. So I made my decision. I lived by it. And that brought me here through another series of circumstances that are so boring and long, I'm not going to waste your time with. Brought me here to North Carolina. And as soon as I was back on my feet, I bought another dirt bike and started riding again for the same reasons as before. I needed a mental health outlet and English lessons. I needed something to do that was a hobby that, you know, being that I'm a mechanic, I bought an old bike that was, you know, not perfect and got into it that way because it is expensive. And what that did for me was 2 things. One, it got me acquainted with a couple people that rode, and I started building a community. Not at first of veterans, but just of people that rode. And then that mission to get better at riding. You know, when you get out of the military, you guys know it's a hard stop and a sudden direction change. And lots of people talk about experiencing PTSD. PTSD is a billing code. PTSD isn't really a thing. What you're experiencing is aggravated loss of identity, loss of mission, loss of friends, loss of financial stability, loss of purpose, loss of all of these things, loss of friends that, you know, you could consider your family. And it's all to different levels. Everyone experiences it differently. And for me, knowing that my guys were on deployment, like they just got back a few months ago, the team that I trained was on deployment. The mission went on without me was hard to deal with. And it's hard for a lot of people. And so having this new mission, which started out as I just want to get better at riding dirt bikes, quickly turned into, well, I don't really want to be told what to do anymore, and I want to work for myself. And I started turning that into a business, which I'm still working on because shit's expensive and stuff is hard, and I'm just going to take my time and do it right with no debt. And then as that kind of grew, I realized that, you know, this isn't about Zach wants to make a bunch of money. I just want to ride dirt bikes and have good friends, and, you know, I could help people with this program. So I started looking into it. And so I was listening. I can't remember what podcast it was, but it was a vet podcast, and they were talking about getting off the X, which is not something that was ever part of my training, but I'm sure for anyone that's ever gone to combat, you've heard that phrase, move off the X, get off the X, which is as much to say as when bad shit happens, when life goes pear-shaped and everything's upside down, you're getting shot at, there's an ambush, a vehicle accident, whatever, don't stay there. MOVE. And so the MOVE, or Moto Off-Road Veteran Experience acronym, came from that concept. So in combat, you're moving away from the site of an ambush. In civilian life, you're moving away from loneliness, depression, alcoholism, drugs, financial instability, whatever that thing is that's causing damage, that's fucking your life up. You need to move away from it. And dirt bikes are a vehicle that I can use to help people do that. So this program started out as an idea. I've gotten some support from some awesome sponsors. I'm not just on here to plug a whole bunch of people, but I do want to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, then shit.
If they're helping you out, go ahead.
Yeah. So
give a shout out for sure.
Yeah. So it started out with the idea that I couldn't afford to do this by myself. And so I was like, well, I'm not going into debt, and I hate asking people for money because I've always believed in earning your way. And so I'm like, okay, sponsorships. Well, what's a sponsorship? It's a marketing partnership. I have no clue how to do that. So I linked up with a lady named Catherine. She owns a company called Leaky Mushroom Moto Ranch. She's out of Minnesota, and she is a motorsports marketing professional. And she taught me how to brand my business, what that even means, how to do research, how to learn what to say, and then also who to say it to, how to do reach outs, how to have these conversations, how to talk on camera. And through that, I've been able to secure support for this through companies like Enduro Engineering. Any bike we buy for the MOVE program, I'm sure there's a cap to this at some point, but right now we only have a couple. They sent us, they make armor for bikes, and they fully upper armor our bikes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, that was huge. They're one of the biggest, and in my opinion,
what are they called?
Enduro Engineering. Enduro Engineering. They make hard parts. It's all made in the USA. I believe it's in Michigan, or Minnesota. I can't remember. One of those great white north states. But yeah, USA made, and they take care of us, make sure our bikes stay armored. There's another company called Muck Off. They make cleaning products and maintenance products. They gave us stuff to give away for the event. And the thing about these companies is they saw what I was doing, and in whatever way they could, because sponsorship has seasons, but all of these sponsorships were out of season. Hey, we've already got all our finances allocated, but we still want to support. And so I'm very grateful that they made our launch event happen, because I also believe that action and the ability to execute is what separates ideas from results. And so I knew that I had to do something besides talk about it on the internet. And a lot of us vets, myself included, sometimes this is something I struggle with. We spent so long doing awesome shit and having a mission and a purpose that was outside of ourselves that we tend to live in that history. You live based on what you did, who you were, your rate, your rank, whatever the hell it happens to be, the combat you saw. Your life, while it was influenced by that, is not defined by that in the present. And so it's important that when we have an idea now or something we want to do now, that we just choose one action, the next action we can take, and execute on that. And so for us, for Carolina Dirt Bike Rentals, for MOVE, for myself, that next action was hosting this launch event last Saturday. I had 11 veterans, actually 11 total people. A couple of them were active duty, a couple of them were veterans show up. We rode dirt bikes. We had lunch together. We built some new friendships. We also have a private online community, a Slack channel that's for anyone that participates or companies that want to support our participants. And so not only did we have this event that brought people together physically, we retained that connection on the internet. I mean, it's one way that we can keep people in touch with each other so that this program can keep on giving back.
Yeah. I'll jump in, Zach. What you said, a lot of stuff you said was awesome. Richard Marshall said, great analogy, Zach. Keep fighting the good fight on YouTube. Again, we cover this a lot with PTSD, and one of my favorite, I shouldn't say ours, it depends on what the other guys think about, but I'm sure they agree. One of our favorite guests was Lieutenant Colonel retired Gade, who wrote Wounding Warriors, right? And he talked about PTSD as a blanket acronym that doesn't really exist, but PTSD does exist. But saying you have PTSD is not the right thing to say, right? I have PTSD. Okay, like with what?
What is
like
it?
What do you have? And that's huge to holding our brothers and sisters accountable as veterans. Is what do you have? And I don't want to get an argument with Susan because I think she's blocked on VTT, but she's still good on Gruntworks. We
can talk about
no,
that.
No. Yeah. Like I said, normally we love Susan, but Susan, when you start saying things that gets us blocked, we have to block you. All right, like so you're good on Gruntworks because they're always under fucking probation. So say whatever the fuck you want on there. No, but again, she's saying like this. Here's a point of it: is it's a flip switch when you become a civilian again. Now you must live all that you love. You must live for all that you love and not die for it. Live it. Fucking difficult as hell. She just called me a pussy. That's fine, Susan. Pussy love, so simple. She's like, it's so simple to live that way. Well, Susan, I'm gonna guess you don't have much PTSD if it's so simple for you to live that way. All right.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing. Yeah. That's positive. We're glad for that.
Yeah, exactly. I hope it is.
For you, Susan, that she. Yeah.
I hope it's very simple. I hope it's very simple. But it's if coming out as as an airborne Ranger qualified infantryman and talking about my problems, Susan makes me a pussy, then I'm okay with that. Because there's plenty of you hardcore charging people like you, Susan, that just is so fucking simple. The things in life that I cared most about.
She got you triggered. Go ahead.
Yeah, the people that care most about. Well, I'm saying like you can't say that like PTSD doesn't exist. Like aspects of it 100% do. To just label it and say you have it is a great point. And I'm going to segue this into something, Zach, here in a second. The thing that I got talked to by a psychiatrist was like the things that you care most about in the civilian world actually trigger your PTSD the most because you're so worried that you're not doing good enough. Yeah. So like you said, Susan, you're right. I'm trying to live for everything I love, but because of what I've been through, am I doing enough? Right. And it triggers something that happens in combat. It triggers something that happens in leadership roles to where it's like, Susan, I don't want to judge you by the cover, but I don't know if I don't know if you've, seen people age 30 years in 12 months. Okay. Like you see that in leadership in combat. Okay. Because they don't sleep. Leaders don't sleep in combat, right? Especially if it's an austerious environment, not a cakewalk, deployment. Like you don't sleep. You're constantly planning. You're constantly preparing. All right. You're constantly worried about taking care of the people you're responsible for, right? So that being said, we take that to another step as veterans, and we find any outlets to train people. So Zach, and to help people, give us a story about how you've seen motocross help people. Because my brother-in-law is a big motocross guy and veteran. So I'm going to connect with you after this show. But it's what have you seen? What have you seen people come out, either try for the first time, maybe reconnect with it, or give us a story about that.
So just for clarity's sake, we've done exactly one event. We're new. And even in that one event, there was a man, first name Mark, that came to this event. And I didn't know at the beginning, because before this event, I gave opportunity for participants to give us names. There was another couple flags that we took with us to give us a name and a status and a branch to have put on a flag so that they could carry their buddies with them. Well, Mark didn't send me any names. And I don't know if that was an accident. I don't know if it was on purpose, but he didn't send any. So we get up to the top of this mountain. Primarily what we do is enduro riding versus track riding, so trails. And we get up to the top of this mountain. He was the last guy to read names. And so he read the two names that on the flags that he was carrying. And then he had to take a pause because he broke down. He had two other names that he carried in his heart that for comrades that had committed suicide. It's in the video. And I think for him, and from our conversation afterwards, for him not coming to this event with an expectation that he was going to be moved, that he was going to feel the presence of his friends. I don't think he expected that necessarily, but for that to be able to happen and for him to have all of us around him, all 13 of us around him at that time, and doing this thing to honor the fallen, whether it be by suicide or killed in action, it's moments like that I had in mind when I created this. The ability to get that pain and bring it to the surface. We use the battle flag imagery a lot in our merchandise and on our website. And the reason I use that tattered flag is because I want to remind people that even though that American flag is worn, it's been damaged by war, it's not perfect, it's not pretty, it still means something. And it's still worth something. So too the veterans that served under that flag, that carried that flag into battle. Just because you've been damaged by what you've been through, just because you're hurt by what you've seen and what you've experienced, you are still worth something. You still have meaning and value. And so we don't just discard a battle-worn flag. We don't throw it away. We don't mistreat it. We don't let it touch the ground, just like if it was perfect and pristine the day that it came from supply. We need to treat ourselves that way too. And this program, I want to be a way for people I want to use it to pour back into people's lives and remind them that you still have purpose. You still have mission. You still have an outlet. This is something that's good for you and healthy and a way for you to be around people who understand exactly what you've gone through. And there was no one surprised or bothered by the fact that this grown man was mourning and weeping for his friends on the top of that mountain. It was expected, and we've all knew exactly what he felt like because we've all done it.
Hey, he was surrounded by warriors and they all understood exactly what, and that's you probably, and I'm sure there's more conversation going on with that individual now, but like he probably doesn't do that as often, because he didn't give up names, but then he did it, like, yeah,
you found a way to
deep,
trigger an
man. That's
emotional
deep. Like
response.
we say, get the demon out so we can crush it together, So yeah, that's
point,
phenomenal,
Dave. Yep.
man. And you're gonna have a lot of that, I think, as you go on with what you're doing, because like we've experienced it with Veteran Trash Talk and with BTT Official. Shout out to all of our mods. It's like a group where people like mention something and the whole community springs into action. Like I think that's kind of what you're going to be doing with the dirt biking and all that. So you're going to experience that a lot, and that's impactful as hell, man. So
that's a
salute
huge
you,
goal.
And we'll continue to connect Zach as well because we find out that there's a few organizations that have come on here that we link them up with another organization on another coast, right? And it's like now all of a sudden you have a network of, I think it was it was hunters, right? There was hunters, but now
hunters,
and then but then we do this as well on Veteran Trash Talk, which is awesome. Is when somebody messages us saying, "Hey, I got a buddy that's sucking right now," and it's like, well, what do they like to do? Oh, they used to be they used to ride bikes.
They like
where
they
do
like
they
fishing.
live?
We got a
Where
guy
do
in
they
Texas,
live?
Yep.
Like they live in Virginia. I'm gonna hook you up with Zach. All right.
Yep.
And so like that the network is bigger and again, big shout out to you for, going out and starting this. And because that's the
North
courage
Carolina.
that I was talking about last week was having the courage to start something, to do something, even though all the negative Nancy's, are going to tell you not to, or that you shouldn't do it. How do people get a hold of you? How do people, research what you've been doing? And like, how do they get to all that?
So the easiest way to get a hold of us is we're most active on Instagram, which is just at Carolina Dirt Bike Rentals. And there's a link tree that's got ways to support us in whatever capacity you have a desire to, whether it be coming out and participating. Because that's the other thing is I haven't put this program out a whole lot because it's so new. This was our first event, and I really wanted
just launched. Yeah,
we just launched, right? And so my intention is not to field this program to the world with an outstretched hand for stuff. I want people who can benefit from this, who want to ride, to contact me. At first, there might be a waiting list. At first, there might be one or two at a time. I've got 2 bikes. Well, if I'm going to take you somewhere, I need one of those. But eventually, I will grow this to the point where we can do a bunch of people at a time on our bikes, to where we can do multi-day trips, to where we're out of state, to where I can fly stuff in, to where you can bring your families. That I want to grow this. I will grow this. But right now, the people that I want to talk to the most are the people who need to go and ride, who haven't done it since they deployed or whatever the case may be. I want those people to reach out to me either through my website, which is, again, is CarolinaDirtBikeRentals.com. There's lots of ways to get a hold of me there, or through my Instagram, which is at Carolina Dirt Bike Rentals.
Yeah, I'm sure Chris will put that into the thread. But like you're saying, like you're opening up my head when you're talking about this stuff, is tell us the costs of these things, because we get donors on this show that will give to nonprofits or organizations based on the cost. Because what does that cost to, let's say you wanted to, without family and friends, you're going to bring two riders to your compound, wherever you're going to go. How much does that cost?
So I guess to start at the beginning, you got to have 2 bikes. Bikes are an average of $11,000 a piece. Gear, you're looking at another probably $400 or $500 a set. Granted, that all this stuff is reusable. We have some of that already. It costs for a day per person is probably about $300 to do it to the caliber that we want to do it. And that's everything from food and fuel for the trucks, fuel for the bikes. That covers maintenance. That about $300 per person per day. Full day of riding covers just about everything.
All right, so your operating costs are about $300 per rider a day.
Right. If we're going to go out and just do one at a time, that's about what it breaks down to. At this level,
what number would get you? So we can come up with this, but like it's pretty. I mean, it's not that difficult. But what would be a good number of money to raise for you to send? I don't know, 10 riders. Get 10 riders to come through, like to where you had everything you needed to do to self-sufficiently run 10. Because people think 10 is a small number, but it's not when you're like doing something like this. So like, what's a good number to raise for 10 riders for the year?
10 riders for the year. As long as they're one at a time, because I'm just going to factor I don't have to buy more bikes. As long as they're one at a time, 10 riders would probably be about $15,000 to do everything. If we're talking about doing groups of 10 people, I mean, that's bikes. And bikes are honestly the biggest expense between insurance and buying them. But that's part of the reason I was like, I'm just going to scale this slowly. Like, I'm your typical dude. I make like 60 grand a year. I work real hard, and but I am determined to make this happen because it means something to me. And so that's why, like, with the exception of the sponsor support for this last event, everything's been out of my pocket, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that because someone is going to benefit somewhere down the road from this. And so money doesn't mean shit. Money doesn't mean anything.
but we gotta be realistic. Like when it comes to doing the things we want to do that give us our own gratification, it does cost money to operate.
Yeah,
that's something I got it. Like I'd love to say that, hey, but it does cost money to operate. Yeah, and like I said, we've had very generous donors on this platform that have given.
I was about to say, I think that's why Nick brought up the numbers, because we've had, and I'm not gonna go into details, but out of Texas, but they were, they received a lot after being on the show. And so it's important to know who they're giving money to. They want to know all the facts. So I think that's
money guys, which you're right, you're spot on, Dave. Money guys, which we're like, when you're giving the money away, they're like they've accumulated all that money because they know what it's worth and how where every cent goes and yada yada yada. So they're sitting there they're not. It's not that they want to say no. They just want to know what does that buy?
Yeah.
Because they might even give you more, right? It's like, wait, so can you do 20? All right, I'll give you 30 for 20. But that 30K has got to take 20 riders out. Right? Yeah. It has to. Right. And bam. Right. And then so there's money guys out there that are paying attention. And so again, where do they go again? Say it again. I don't think Chris put it in the chat thread. I haven't seen it. Where do they go again we got it. He needs 15. So you're saying right now, if you got a check for 15K, you could send 10 riders throughout the year.
Yeah, I could do 10 riders, and that's as long as they're local riders. If I'm not flying people in is different, but people that are local to me that drive to me, we'll get in my truck, we'll load the bikes up, we'll go, and about $300 a day covers. I think to be fair, I think I did that math right. 10, yeah.
Well, I need. It's kind of like Shark Tank, where I need to know your numbers to where you have, because I mean, maybe it's less because you're somewhere else or whatever. We have who was the Fisher guy? He was in South Carolina, Dave. He served with you guys before I got to the 82nd, but he had the little trailer out there.
Jim Gravy?
Yeah, he had a little trailer.
He's house. He fucking drives fucking boats all day for a living now.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but he has a little trailer out there where it's like on by the water where he puts
Oh yeah,
veterans
yeah.
in.
That one
You know,
probably that's probably like his.
it doesn't cost that much. Like like I could house up veterans for a weekend. We take them out fishing. All the money's into the boat and stuff like that. So
He's got pontoons now and stuff. Like he's yeah.
That's awesome.
No, that's great. But okay, well, all right. I guess we can wrap it up to the AAR. No, I'm excited, Zach, to see where you go in the future with this, and any type of marketing or event that you have, give it to us. All right, okay. We'll put it out, and again, that's what people don't get about Veteran Trash Talk. Even though we keep trying to hammer that nail down, we do all this shit for free. Okay, if you're a veteran-owned business or you do anything that helps veterans or first responders, we're gonna plug it. All right, we're gonna get people to. Again, one person might call you in the next 3 months because they watched or listened to this podcast, and who knows? Maybe it saves their life. And hopefully, our conversation again did something because we talked about the mole people.
Yeah.
All right. Now, like just the basic.
They could be reptilians. They could be
the basic mole people, right? We talked about
them. They could be man bear pig. We don't know.
Right. We don't know. So, like I said, we're recapping the show.
You think it is them? Nick, you were actually 100%.
I'm 100% that it's real. Yeah, 100% it's real. Like, it's Illuminati. Like, they have their workers, right? They're guarding the missiles.
The caves actually go to Epstein's Island. The caves go to like
Epstein. No, they don't go to Epstein's Island. They go to the submarine launch that goes to Epstein's Island because he did have a submarine. So go fuck yourself. Yeah, so I'm tracking.
About to get Clinton.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So,
wild.
Yeah, the Clintons. The Clintons have their own cave. But either way, conspiracies there, and hopefully somebody watching this show, all right, understands that it's our job as veterans to be our brother's keeper, and if we trigger you, that's exactly what we want to do. All right, we want to trigger you so that we can find the demon and we can kill it. All right, because the demon's not you. All right. The demon is something else telling you fucking lies. All right. And if that answer is getting out and riding on a dirt bike, all right. If that answer is going and painting, if whatever it is, but for Zach's case, if that's getting out and riding a dirt bike, or even learning how to ride one, or learning how to work on a bike to give yourself a hobby, right? That's what we're looking for here. So hopefully that happens. And I didn't want to say at the beginning of the show, so I'll say at the end. August 26th is always a big day for me. And I know Dave's tracking this as well. But if you can if you go on my Facebook page on VTT's Big Earl, that's when, a sniper team that I used to work with, they got overrun and they were killed by a bunch of Sudanese insurgents. And they were some of the most professional people I've ever worked with. Did a lot of great things with them. And so Josh and Tracy, you guys, you're always on our hearts and minds. I know, we never forget you.
What a day. What a day.
And then if you go on my page right now, there's an article on there that was written about that day. Also, his wife, Kendra, started a company, and because Facebook hates us, they don't share that stuff. But she started a company. So if you go on my page and scroll down a little bit, you'll see that as well. So support her company, get on there. And there's not a day goes by, because it was the hardest thing for me, because everybody says, not everybody, but some people have survivor's guilt. Yeah, you get for sure.
You get the last word, brother.
Yeah. I don't have survivor's guilt for a lot of the stuff that I've done. I had survivor's guilt for Josh and Tracy because I was supposed to go out on that mission and I was scratched at the last second and somebody else went out. Right. So I dealt with that for years, right? For years until I finally got it out. Like I finally got that demon out, and and it's like, but it's still that demon's still hovering around everywhere. All right. But I'm not going to let him in. And I thank all of you on this page, all of you on this platform that helped me, because it does help me when I see your stories, your struggles, it goes into, all right, what's that person dealing with? What's that person dealing with? How do we help them? So love you guys. Great show. Conspiracy, dirt bikes, Scott Mann, big time, last out, legacy of a Green Beret. I can't say the word, Chris, so get over it. I'll just make it up. All right, so what is it? Legacy?
Watchy?
Huh?
No?
No.
Was it Elegy?
Elegy, yeah, elegy of a Green Beret.
So now I recoup myself from the beginning of a compact bow.
Not necessarily because I don't read it, so I don't ever I just whenever I put at Scott Mann, it pops up, so I just click it. So it's just I don't ever read it. But yeah, of course, that's the AR. Zach, you get the last word before Dave closes this out.
Rad. Two things. Number one, I'd like to get with you after the show, and I want to carry on our next event. I want to carry a flag for your buddies. Two, I got so excited talking about the event that I didn't actually explain specifically what Move does. There's two primary properties to it. One is where most people off the street would pay for dirt bike rentals. Veterans and active duty ride for free. Like they never pay us anything.
It's kind of a very, very important aspect.
Yeah, I'm like, this is the whole point of talking about what we do. The other property to Move is that we host community events, riding clinics. We work with different partners for marketing and stuff like that, but primarily we host events that are also free for veterans and active duty to build community. And then to tie those two things together, I did touch on this. We have our online community that veterans and active duty can join. If they participated in a Move event, they just get added to it. They get the link. If you hear this episode and you want to join because you're interested, we just ask for some form of proof of service to join. And then we add you. It doesn't cost you anything. But yeah,
right.
So the important shit is what I want to talk about.
You kind of had to hit on that. It's kind of important. But regardless, anyway, Zach, phenomenal, dude. Like we've had, this is episode 131, and I'm not saying anything negative about previous guests or previous nonprofits or for-profits, but like you can tell you're compassionate and you have extreme passion about what you're doing, and you want to help out and assist our brothers and sisters who need it. So like, hats off. I can't wait to watch this journey. Because last week we were talking to Armed Forces Brewing Company, where they started a year.
Yeah, last year they were on the show.
Now they closed a share of what, $7 million, like with what they
good for them.
Yeah, like it's just amazing, and we see some of these nonprofits that come on and they're just blowing up and they're all over the place doing amazing things. So I definitely see that in your future. If that means anything to you, I think like just stay the course, stay passionate about what you're doing. Keep riding dirt bikes. If you're ever out here in Arizona, let's go. I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right.
Yeah. You come visit, right? You got family out here.
I was literally just there for a wedding a couple weeks ago.
Perfect. Let me know. I'm in surprise. And then for everybody that's watching, go to veterantrashtalk.com. That's our website. It has the links to Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. And for everybody that's watching live right now, we are shadow banned on YouTube. Can you just go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and give us one like? That's it. That's all I'm asking.
They freaking hate us.
Shop.veterantrashtalk.com. Check out our awesome merch. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Veteran Trash Talk, Mental Health Warrior. And great episode. Love you guys. Have a safe Saturday, and we'll catch you guys next week. Boom.